What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. And this is episode 51 of Simon and AKDI movie reviews. We're doing a fan request today for the film I, Robot, starring Will Smith, that came out in 2004. And I'm here with my wife. Say hi, boo.
Hi everyone, I'm AKDI from Turkey, and yeah, we're reviewing this movie.
So once again, sorry for the delay to anybody who was waiting for the 12:30 watch time. We got some things happening over here that prevented us from doing it on time, but we're always going to try to stick as close to the time as possible. And I encourage everybody to jump in and leave their comments about this film. My guy Mad Villainy is here. What up, Mad Villainy? I don't know if you requested this movie or if it was my guy Nelson Moreno, but regardless, I'm sure you've seen this film, and I'd be interested to know what you think about it in the comments, or if you want to turn on the mic and chop it up with us. But yeah, we watched this movie, most of it last night, and then some of it this morning, at least the ending of it this morning. What did you think about it, acting?
It's just a good movie. Like, I don't know, Will Smith is a good actor always, and he's always so like sympathetic and I don't know, just lovable. He's America's sweetheart, and yeah, it's like a good action-filled sci-fi movie. So yeah, I liked it the first time I watched it, and I still think it holds up well.
Yeah, calling Will Smith America's sweetheart is probably the most fitting adjective for him. He's like the Taylor Swift of black men.
Yeah. And not only black men, I feel like all people love Will Smith. Even like after the slap, I think we would still watch him
Yeah,
and
I think people
enjoy
are.
his. Yeah,
Yeah, I think people are over the slap, don't you think?
yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know if they made it up with Chris Rock.
Nah, they still gotta fight. Them old men gotta fight it out. But I think the world has moved on.
Yeah, yeah. A lot has happened since, so it's now kind of forgotten.
Yeah, I feel like for a film made in 2004, it doesn't give off that cheesy, like fake futuristic vibe. Like, yeah, there are like flying cars ish in this film, right? But it's still somewhat realistic. And it, even though it's like 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, which is crazy to think about, it looks really good still. And I think the film has, kind of gotten a bit better with time, or maybe because we've been watching a lot of AI robot sci-fi films recently. I really liked it, and I think I liked it more than I remembered seeing it back in 2004, because I'm pretty sure I did not see this film since then. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think like all the like how the robots are designed and maybe like the design of the city is like a bit cheesy with like you said flying cars and stuff, but I do think it does look more realistic than like the other movies that we watch because it's like a bit closer in time.
Hmm.
So in that way, I think it's very like it is holding up good, and
Yeah.
like how the robots are designed and everything. I feel like it's what we imagine, AI helper robots would look like.
Right, right. This movie feels like if Pixar made one of the shorts for the Animatrix.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that.
This is like, them really doing their take on maybe before the second revolution, or maybe events that happened during the second revolution, part one of the Animatrix. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, go watch the Animatrix and listen to our review of it that we did yesterday. But yeah, because these robots look and sort of speak and act like the robots in the Animatrix, right? They're servants for humans. They do everything for humans, and they sort of have that same, frame and built. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the movie, it is said that they are made in that way because they were supposed to look more human, so they're not intimidating.
Yeah,
And yeah, this feels like in the beginning of the robot revolution, where
yeah,
robots are somewhat controllable and they only serve humans.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's walk through the story for anybody who doesn't know. Essentially, the film opens up with the three laws of robotics on screen. A robot can't harm a human. A robot must always save humans, and it cannot follow an order that would conflict with the first law or something like that. And the third law is what? I forgot. Do you remember?
I think third one is that like the robot can determine itself
Hmm.
as long as it doesn't conflict with the first two laws or something like that.
Yeah. A robot can protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Yeah.
Yeah. First law, robot can't harm a human through action or inaction. A robot must obey the orders a human gives them, except when the orders are to like kill another human or hurt a human. Those are the
Mm.
first two. All right. And so, yeah, basically the movie opens with this guy waking up from what we think is a nightmare where this girl is in a sinking car and he's in the car as well. But then a robot comes and rips him out of the car. Then he wakes up in his house and it's Will Smith. And Will Smith, I think, is acting very niggerish in this movie. Like watching this movie again, like he is very black. Like the guy, the main character's name is Spooner, Detective Spooner, and Detective Spooner's living like this bachelor lifestyle. He wakes up in the morning listening to like Stevie Wonder, works out in this sort of like messy crib and stuff like that. And yeah, he walks and talks very much like a nigga from Detroit. Like I do. It's so crazy. Like I do not remember this part of the film, but there were so many instances where I was like, "Ain't that some nigga shit?" Like when he would say or do something for real. And this is crazy because Will Smith is a black man, but his whole demeanor is sort of like the non-threatening black man, and sort of like a neutralized blackness. But in the first 5, 10 minutes of this film, you realize, oh, Spooner on some G shit for real. I don't know. What did you think about like the opening scenes and stuff like that?
First of all, I have to say Will Smith looks good in this movie. Like he looks like like good. And but I also love like his fashion. Like he's putting on Converse, and I love Converse. And it's like he has a little bit of like that street style, but with like a long leather jacket and things like that. So I like him. I like his like whole style, honestly.
Oh man, there were so many product placements in this movie. That was one of the things that really bothered me at the beginning cuz like for big budget Hollywood films, they sometimes get the companies to like advertise in the films, and like Converse got a big boost in that. At the very beginning, Spooner opens the door and he's getting a delivery from a robot, and the robot has like FedEx and like big gold and purple letters all over it. Later on, I think there was another product placement for Audi as well. Like the product placement in this film was just so Transformers, so Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, I think during that time, like 2000, early 2000s, and even now, we have a lot of product placements. It was like especially like with a movie like this with Will Smith, in starring.
Hmm.
Yeah, they will put that.
Yeah. By the way, in another universe, Denzel Washington played Spooner because Denzel was offered this role, but he turned it down. Do you think this film would be very different if Mr. Washington had it?
Yeah, because I feel like Denzel has a more serious, more dramatic like presence
Hmm.
in the movies, and Will Smith made it fun and like very light and likable,
Hmm.
even though it does like has some serious topics. But I feel like with Denzel, it would just be like more serious, and
Yeah.
I do think Will Smith is a better choice.
Yeah. Because Denzel can't deliver some funny ass lines. He don't
Yeah.
have the skill like that. But shout out to my guy Nelson Moreno. I believe you suggested this film. Why did you suggest this film for us to review? And what is it that you love about this movie?
Uh, okay. Well, I didn't suggest this movie. I think it was the other dude. I think it was Avery actually.
Okay.
Uh, what do I think about this movie? I don't really like it. It's really crappy. Um, it's very unlike the original work, the book, the
Hmm.
I Robot book, which is
Hmm.
an anthology of short stories, and like in the books, it's not about like machines controlling the world and machines robots are evil. It's about
Hmm.
like people and machines getting along and stuff like that. Just give me a sec.
Okay, okay. I think, it is easy probably to dismiss this film as just like another
Yeah, I'm back.
comedy, action, Transformers type of joint. But I think it actually is held up really well. And because it stays really true to those sci fi roots and it has like an interesting detective story in it, even when the cliches happen, like the guy gets the girl, they defeat the bad guys, slay the dragon, blah blah blah, it still leaves you like questioning, like, okay, how should humans act towards the robot now? Like, were the robots right to kill humans? Like, there's still some interesting things in there. I don't know. Go ahead.
Uh, yeah, so it's very different because at the time, um, the hell is going on? Uh, at at the time, yeah, sorry. At the time, there was a lot of. It was very cliched to make uh, when the book was written to make cliched about murderous machines that rebel and kill humans. But in this book, Asimov was trying to do something very different, like, and it was about like I don't know about cooperation. I don't know how to say it, and so forth.
Yeah, cooperation with the
Cooperation.
robots.
Yeah. For example, the last story, right? There's a bunch of stories, but the last story, which I think this one
Hmm.
is based off. I think it's like
Hmm.
the doctor. Like they put five machines, five AIs, like the ones you see in the movie, like the Vicki thing or something. Like it's
Hmm.
controlling the world. And
Hmm.
how you say? Wait, didn't you say that it wasn't about machines controlling the world or something? Well, it's because humans put it there, right? And the machine was so good at running the economy, they gave them other jobs. And one
Hmm.
day, without people even noticing, the AI was basically managing the entire world, But
Hmm.
everything was good. There was no hunger, no wars, and blah blah blah. And the doctors noticed this, but in the same fact, because they need people to have a purpose, Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship.
Okay, I think you're a bit off somewhere. Like, I don't know exactly where you are. We're talking about the film and you're talking about the book. I understand Isaac Asimov might have had a different idea, but I think we should, focus on just critiquing the film in and of
Well, I
itself.
think
That
it betrays the spirit of the book. It's a bad adaptation. So I was trying to say.
Okay. All right. Well, that's your opinion. I would just say that even if this is a cheesy action flick, because its core is still sci-fi and questions about AI, I think there still is a lot to discuss here, and it is still thought-provoking. And it is one of Will Smith's better action films, I would say too.
Yeah.
I think it's easily top five one of his action films, maybe five or four,
You,
but it's up
you
there.
know, no, I'm just a book guy.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. All right, but actually, do you want to continue with the story?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Will Smith is a detective, and first we see him like just walking in the street, right? And then he goes, he sees like a robot running with a purse, and someone like yells, and then he starts chasing the robot, thinking that the robot like stole the purse or something, and then robot ends up like giving the purse to an old lady, and it was actually like bringing the purse to the lady,
Mhm.
and she like forgot her medicine at home or something like that, and the woman says like, what were you thinking? Like, why are you doing this or something like that? And gets mad at Will Smith's character. And yeah, I think here, like, we kind of understand that normal people are used to robots and they don't see them as enemies.
Mhm.
But Will Smith's character does. And that's, I guess, why they put it there.
Mhm.
And then he goes to his grandmother's house. Was that his mother or grandmother?
I think it's his grandma's house, Big
His
Mama.
yeah, his grandma's house, and his grandma is like cooking her something, and she also wants to get one of the robots or something like that, and he is like opposed to that, and they have a talk there, and they have like a cute relationship. And yeah, then he is called by like this AI company who created all the robots in this world. I forgot the name of the company.
USR.
USR, yeah, USR, and there is a murder there, and one of the very important creators of the robots, Alfred Lanning, is dead, and it's an apparent suicide. So they call him to check for that.
Hmm. Yep, yep, yep. My take on that first opening scene and sequence is like it was kind of funny to me. I was thinking like, damn, all these old ladies in this film are old because they were born in 2012.
Okay.
Nobody else was thinking that. I was like, this old bitch, she still remembering people doing the Soldier Boy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they adapted quickly, but I guess like I feel like older people would appreciate AI since their
Mhm.
like physical abilities are more limited.
Yeah, yeah. But no, in all seriousness, it was interesting because like Spooner was like the only person who thought that robots could do harm and could do wrong. But when Spooner like tackles that robot that is bringing the woman her purse because she forgot her asthma medicine, like all the other police officers at the office make fun of him. Like, look at that, the robot stole my laundry or something like that. And that's because, everybody in this world believes the robots can do no harm, that they can all be good, right? And
Yeah.
robots are not charged with crimes. It's like, if you get run over by your own car, they don't charge the car with murder. They just think that's impossible. A car cannot run you over by itself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody believes that a robot is incapable of murdering a person or harming a person.
Right.
And all of the robots have like those first three laws embedded in them, like
Mhm.
in their system.
Right, right. And I thought it was interesting because I was thinking this, it's almost like people have a religion towards the robots. It's like they have a certain faith that their, AI creations are actually not thinking. Now it's either that they think that, this AI is not really true AI, it's like Chat GPT, or this is, something that has angelic like qualities, like the robots are like angels, if that makes sense. Now, I didn't know exactly how they thought about it because, it seems like more advanced AI got developed later. But what did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like humans really trusted AI,
Hmm.
and they saw it like, yes, they are here to help us and make us more advanced and take care of us and all of those things. And it's just like they've almost like become part of the society,
Yeah,
like any other tool that we have, television, computers, and all of those things. Like it's like you can't imagine your life without the robots now.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. It's like they can't imagine it, but it's also like they either look at them as like, perfect beings or innocent, naive things like babies, right? You can't charge a baby with murder, and so you can't charge a robot with murder, I guess. Uh, my guy, Mad Villain, he jumped into the comments. He said, after the slap, I don't know about America's Sweetheart. Then he says, I still like the films, though. That's pretty funny. No, the world still loves Will Smith. We're just scared of him, too. But anyway, my guy Nelson, you have anything you want to say? Do you remember the film?
Yeah, I saw it like last year or something.
Okay, okay. And yeah, before we continue with the story, do you have like any like what do you think about Will Smith as an actor? Is he a great actor? Is he mediocre? Is he overhyped? Is he one of the best? What do you think?
Um, no, he's a pretty good actor. Yeah, he's not overhyped. He's not like among the best. I would say he's not among the goat like Denzel, let's say, or even Samuel
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, but
Mm-hmm.
or even someone like I don't know Brad Pitt or Johnny or freaking the guy in Django, the white guy in Django.
Jamie, oh,
Ah,
Leo,
Leo.
Leonardo
Yeah,
DiCaprio.
Leo. He's not there, I
Yeah,
think, but he's almost there.
and I think he surpassed Leo, low key.
Not Leo.
I
Nah,
think he
no, no
surpassed him.
way, man.
Am I tripping, acting?
I think I would put Will Smith over Brad Pitt, but lower than Leo,
Mm,
if that makes sense. Because recently, also Will Smith did really like nice, serious roles. Because before it was like Men in Black, iRobot, and all of those things, a bit like goofy characters,
hmm.
and a lot of action. But then he did like the Serena Williams's dad. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
Richard.
King Richard.
Yeah, yeah, that one, Emancipation, and yeah, he did like some pretty dramatic roles. So I think that those took him up there.
Right. I think the problem with Will is like, yeah, like you said, actually, he has a lot of bad films or decent films or mediocre films, and Leo's got at least one or two great films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think, I don't know, I put Will over him
And
just because, yeah, go ahead.
like in this movie, his performance was a walking stereotype. It was really weird.
No, he was hella black in this film, but I actually appreciate that because this nigga was putting like 7 scoops of sugar into a espresso. Like that's some nigga shit,
Really?
bro. Yes, man. He woke up in the morning and played like superstitious, and then came home with a bad Spanish broad and banged her out to like Ray Charles's like Georgia. Like, ain't that some nigga shit? Like, he was turned up the entire film. He was walking like he had the permanent limp, like the gait, like a pimp throughout the entire film. Like nobody else noticed this, but I think I don't know. Notice in this sci-fi film, there's a lot of black characters. Of course, Will Smith, but the detective as well, and there's like just background people as well. Like there's this film is very black.
The
I don't
detective
know.
was
I'm
super
feeling
cliched.
the detective or the
The
boss,
the
like
chief
his
the chief detective, yeah, the boss.
yeah. Yeah, he was like, I'm too old for this shit. They might as well have gotten Danny Glover for that.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, yeah. He's usually that role. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. Tell it, man. All right, Nelson, you do this. You're the hater for this entire film, and I'll just try to boost this film up for the people
All right.
because
All
I
right.
actually think it's worth watching. It's not that bad. But anyway, the murder happens, right? So this scientist gets murdered, and he has a recording that he left for. For Spooner to see, right? And so Spooner has to ask this recording a series of questions to find out why he died, right? Because who leaves the recording, when they die? And when Spooner goes to investigate the man's office, right? He interacts for the first time with Vicki, and Vicki is this sort of ethereal, non-bodily AI that exists throughout the building of USR, that's a more advanced AI that doesn't need a physical form. And he asked Vicky to see the recording of like what happened before the scientist jumped out of the window, and Vicky can't show it. And then he goes in there and tries to explore in his office, but then he's met by this robot that bursts out of the ground and stuff like that. And the robot puts a gun in his face and threatens to kill Spooner, but then the robot escapes, and Spooner then goes on a chase to try to find the robot. The robot is screaming stuff like "Who am I?" and "Where am I?" and all that stuff. Eventually, Spooner finds the robot in a sea of robots by threatening to shoot them all in the head. But then this robot is apprehended by the police and taken to jail. Acty, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, well, here we're introduced to Dr. Calvin, which
Mm-hmm.
I thought her character was like interesting because he's a robot psychologist. So
Mm.
he plays the role of like making the robots more
Do you mean
human.
she?
Sorry, she, yeah. She's like trying to make the robots more human, and she worked with what was his name, Alfred, the head,
The,
creator of the robots, who
let's
the
say the
guy who
dead
died.
doctor. Yeah, dead doctor.
Yeah, the dead doctor. And I thought that was an interesting job, and I was thinking like, okay, if one day can I do this job as a
Mm.
psychologist? And I don't know if I would want to though, but yeah. Anyway, I really like this part. It's like nice chase scenes, and yeah, like we get introduced to Sonny, which is like the robot who tried to attack Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like a good chase scene and a good like fight scenes and all of that.
Yeah, yeah. Great action sequences. Nelson, do you remember this part?
Uh, Not really. Like what action? What fight? It's a fight or it's like the
Yeah,
beginning?
Yeah, at the very beginning, like when Spooner meets Sonny, right? Sonny is the robot who is accused of killing the doctor, and Spooner goes on a chase of Sonny, who's trying to escape. And Sonny is obviously a robot who's different than the rest because he's acting different, talking
Yeah.
different, and possibly killed somebody. So,
I thought the scene where he drowned or something in the girl. I thought that was no, that was before or after this. But on that scene, yeah, if I'm remembering, it was like the special effects look kind of crappy for me.
oh God, no! Special effects throughout this film, I think, were hard. I think the special effects still hold up pretty well, but I do think the robots are sort of designed with that sort of like Pixar friendly Minions face. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's this sort of like certain gleam to it. I don't know, Matt Villainy. You got anything on that?
Oh man, I have not seen this movie since the year it was released.
Me too.
But yeah, I mean I remember when I did see it, I liked the movie. I didn't it wasn't like a rewatch for me, but
Mhm.
I thought it was okay. The effects, I'm trying to remember. I don't think the effects were too bad considering the time it was
Mhm.
in. So, but yeah, that's all I got for now.
I got you. I got you. I think the design of the tech and the special effects have the sleekness of like the iPhone 4. Like everything in this film is as advanced as an iPhone 4, but that's okay because the iPhone 4 still looks good in your hand, in my opinion. Acting, am I tripping?
No, I also think they still hold up. Like, probably, I don't know if I can compare it. I'm not comparing it to like any Matrix or anything, but maybe like if I compare it to Matrix, it's like kind of similar, but just a different vibe. Like you said, this movie has like a friendlier robot
Hmm.
design, and like in Matrix, it's more like evilish,
Hmm.
darker design. But I feel like the quality is somewhat similar.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the quality is good. It just holds up well. I think CGI in the past 20 years, like if you watch, the Fast and the Furious or Transformers films or whatever films from around that time, they still look good. CGI after 1998 is generally good.
Yeah, and also like Sony, like the robot in this movie, was also voiced by an actual person.
That's good to hear. But it
Yeah.
would have been better if had it been an AI.
Well, yeah, probably at that time they couldn't afford that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, Sonny gets arrested by the police, and Spooner comes into the police station. And is like, you know what? I want to interview the robot, but his detective is like, hell no. I already talked to the district attorney, and a robot cannot be charged with murder. And then Spooner's like, please, man, please let me do this. And detective says, you know what? I'm gonna miss. And Spooner says, what? And he says, I'm gonna miss the good old days when people killed people and not robots, right? And then Spooner is let into the interrogation room with the robot, right? And before he goes in, he gives his boss a wink. And when he sits down, Spooner throws pictures of the dead scientist in front of Sonny. Sonny is like, "What is this? I've never seen something like this." And you know, uh, Spooner's like, "You did the murder," and Sonny's like, "No, I didn't." And Sonny is asking, you know, Spooner, like, what is a wink? Like, what does it mean to wink? What does it mean to have these feelings and stuff like that? And he gets angry when Spooner continues to ask him about the murder, and he slams the table. And Spooner is then let out of the room because the owner of USR, the billionaire, comes in and says, you know what, you can't talk about this killer robot. Killer robots don't exist. It's impossible because of the three laws of robotics. And anybody who talks about this will be persecuted to the full extent of the law. What did you think about that scene acting?
Yeah, I think also the robot said something like Doctor was scared. Like Dr.
Hmm.
Alfred was scared of something.
Hmm.
And I just thought like the robot seemed like he loved the doctor, and that he wouldn't do anything to him because he was like touching his photos, like he missed him or something. He was calling him father. and all those things. And yeah, nobody believed that he did it, and I didn't also think that the robot did it here as well.
I
And
thought
I
that nigga,
thought,
that rigger was guilty.
no, I was thinking someone is controlling the robots, or someone like made him do it by controlling him or something. That's what I was thinking at that point. And yeah, like I don't know, it was cool how they were talking about like human emotions, and once again, like Detective Spooner, he was like, oh, it's like something human, you wouldn't understand what it is. And they talking about emotions and stuff, and Robot said also, I think, I can dream as
Yeah.
well. And yeah, it was just interesting how this robot Sonny was like just different from others.
Mm. I don't know, acting. I'm not a regrow lover like you. I thought that thing was guilty as soon as I saw him.
Oh, so you're speciesist.
Hell yeah, I'm speechless. I just thought it was silly how everybody in this universe really thought it would be impossible for a AI robot to kill its owner, right? At least, at the very least, somebody should have said maybe this could happen one day. But the way everybody was acting like Spooner was crazy for thinking the robot did it was kind of annoying and kind of a plot hole. But I don't know how deep off in the future, how well adjusted humans had come to robots that this sort of way of thinking could take place.
Yeah, I felt that when Detective Spooner was in the doctor's office, the
Hmm.
dead doctor's office, and he tried to break the glass with a stool, and the glass didn't break.
Hmm.
But the dead doctor supposedly jumped out of the window and
Hmm.
broke the window as he was committing suicide. Like,
Yeah,
how can a man like just break break unbreakable window
yeah.
basically?
Frail old
So
white man too. Yeah,
yeah, like that part, I was like, how can like Dr. Calvin is not believing Detective Spooner?
yeah, yeah. By the way, I'm gonna jump back a bit. Shia LaBeouf is in this film for some reason.
Yeah.
Like in the first 5 minutes, Shia LaBeouf makes a cameo, and he's like this horny teenager who's following Spooner around, talking about, "Man, these girls are hot, man. I'm trying to get in their panties." And like, Spooner, let me borrow your car. And like that just happened. I was like, why did that happen? And Shia LaBeouf comes later in the film and makes like a very prominent part, has a prominent part in the end. But why was that there? Acting, did that throw you off too?
Yeah, like even at the end, like his character was kind of unnecessary. Let's be
Uh-huh.
honest. Like I don't know, but I guess it was trying to show like Will Smith cared about people
Uh-huh.
in general or something. I'm not sure. Or cared about youth, maybe. I don't know why that was there and why like Shia LaBeouf made an appearance.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those films where they're trying to touch every demographic. Like, we got to get like a cool young hip kid in there. We have the macho man Will Smith. We got a spicy Latina as the scientist, and we got white people in there as like the robot. Because the robot
Yeah.
Sonny has blue eyes, and they try to make Sonny look so innocent. It couldn't be me. Look at my blue eyes. I
Yeah.
don't know. Am I tripping?
No, I mean, when they were like evil or when they were attacking, they had like the red light
Yeah, yeah,
on them. And then when they were innocent, they had like these, no eyebrows, blue or green eyes
yeah,
look to them. And I think, yeah, that was like just something that the creators did.
yeah. Nelson, you got anything?
Yeah. Like in the movie, because I already read the book. Um, Maybe for the normal audience, when they hear, you know, Will Smith complain that he harmed the robots, and the others say, "No, of course not. How could that happen?" Of course, for the other people arguing against Will, they're gonna sound crazy, but okay, because okay. But let's see how the movie like later gets out. The way the movie gets out of the three laws.
Hmm.
I thought it was like
Okay,
stupid. It didn't make any sense.
okay. I think number one, I think the three laws are flawed because if it's AI, it could eventually think, "Hey, I'm not a robot. This doesn't apply to me." So I think there's, just on the surface level with Isaac Asimov's three laws. They're not as foolproof. Like that works for a lawnmower. That won't work for a machine that thinks it can dream, it has a soul, whatever. I don't know. Actually, what do you think about the three laws?
I think in the surface it sounds okay, but as we see in the movie, it is flawed. But I don't think like AI would not think it's not AI unless it's like specifically programmed like that. But I feel like even then it would notice certain things that are different about him.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
not sure.
The
Right.
the problem, I think, it was the way they circumvented the law, because the AI was still operating under the law, not of like of a need of like self consciousness, or something like that. He was doing it
Mm.
to save humans. Am I incorrect?
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what happens at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's not jump to the end real quick. So, actually, what happens next after he interviews Sonny and the boss
Yeah,
from USR comes?
I think after that he goes into the dead doctor's house,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, he's just like trying to look for evidence and things like that. And the doctor lives in this big mansion, and it
Hmm.
was set to for demolition, like
Hmm.
the next day or something,
Hmm.
8 a.m. next
Eight.
day. And he goes inside just looking. There's like a cat there, and he listens to like some of his videos, lectures, and then he also sees like a picture of the doctor and with Dr. Calvin, the psychologist lady. And all of a sudden the machine, the AI machine for set for demolition, like wakes up and tries like starts to tearing the building down that Will Smith is in. And Will Smith, there's like a little action scene there as well. Will Smith like takes the cat. There are like some funny moments there. He says, I didn't understand that. Like the cat comes to Will Smith's leg, and then Will Smith says, this is never gonna work. You're a cat, I'm black. I don't get like why black people wouldn't get along with cats.
No, there's no reason. It's just ridiculous and silly. But it goes to show how turned up to the max Will was in this movie. Like for anybody who has not seen this movie in years, like you're gonna watch this again and be like, this is Will Smith's blackest role. More black than he was in Men in Black. And in Men in Black, he was a real nigga too. Like before he joined the agency, this young cop was like running through the city like in like Air Max trainers and like the like neon glittery like sweater windbreakers and shit like that. Like man, I don't know, man. Will Smith was turned up on this thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically there's like this this action scene where Will Smith is like trying to get out of the house and save himself, and he saves the cat. He jumps into the pool of the house, and it seems like, at least to me, it seemed like someone was plotting against him. Like
Hmm.
someone turned on the demolition robot and tried to kill him because he was after the truth or something.
Yeah, and
And yeah,
at this point in the film, I really thought it was the CEO of USR who was
yeah.
out to kill the detective because in this part and later, it seemed like anytime Will got closer, and Will, I called him Will Spooner, got closer to like the truth or in the investigation, something would happen that would try to take his life. I really liked the scene with the demolition of the house. For some reason, it reminded me of something like from Resident Evil, like zombies tearing apart a house, and Jill Valentine has to bust out of that thing. Plus, also, it was cool to see a cat be forced to jump into a pool. Like, you know how brave you got to be. That must have been the most dangerous day of filming. Like, all right, Will, this is what you got to do. You're gonna jump into this pool with this cat.
Maybe they use like a toy or something.
Nah, fuck that. That was a real cat because he came out of the water and he was still holding the cat. Dog, you cannot pay me Will Smith's salary to jump into a pool with a cat. That cat will
Oh
fuck me
come
up.
on! He was probably wearing like some protective suit underneath, because that cat will definitely like pierce his nipples.
Man, that cat would have ripped the eye out.
Yeah, but that was definitely cool, and yeah, that was cute as well.
Would you jump into a pool with a cat?
Yeah, with protective measures.
With protective measure. Man. The next scene, Will Spooner shows up at the house of Dr. Calvin, and he confronts Dr. Calvin about the attack at the house from the demolition robot, and Dr. Calvin does not believe it. Dr. Calvin is in there like pretending that she was not having sex with her robot, pretending like the robot is just watching TV or downloading the information. But we know Dr. Calvin was getting her back blown out by that NS5s. Don't
Wow.
you? Don't you think
No, I don't think the robot was updating.
that was so fake? Oh yeah, the robot's he's updating. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about why is why he's all oiled up. Nah, man,
They don't have dicks.
that's attachable.
Wow. Wow.
Man,
Maybe I could see that happening.
somebody was fucking the robots. You know who? You know who she was? Dr. Calvin was Anna Stubblefield.
Wow. That's totally different, but I can see Dr. Calvin just like being a workaholic and also like coming home late at night, just attaching the big penis to his robot and
Yeah,
just having fun with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's gonna lose her job, lose her license because she asked the robot to move in with her.
Wow.
Just like Anna Stubblefield. I swear to God. If y'all don't catch that reference, go watch Tell Them You Love Me. I swear, it's great. Any comments about this scene? Because, Spooner and Dr. Calvin get into a big fight. He calls her the smartest dumb person he ever knew. And she says, "You're the dumbest dummy I've ever known," which is the worst roast I've heard. But yeah, any comments about that?
No, I mean, it's just like getting closer to the ending, basically, and there are like few tips that they give to the audience
Hmm.
that they really like. There's something wrong, and it wasn't a suicide.
Yeah. There's a bit of like romantic and sexual tension between them, but it's not overly done, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard somebody make this comment about Will Smith in movies. Like Will Smith's romantic partners in a lot of his leading man films, a lot of them are white women, but he's never had a white woman who wasn't Latina. And I don't know if Dr. Calvin was Latina, and I don't know if you can look it up or anybody else can look it up. But the only woman he's ever kissed on screen maybe is like his wife, Jada, and then like Eva Longoria or something. Eva
Mm.
Mendes,
I
something like that.
mean, this girl is it's this lady's name is Bridget Moynihan,
Hmm.
and she's from New York.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
she's
just was
like American.
I was just thinking about that. Like, how Will Smith has dealt with romance on screen. A lot of the times it feels like, they allow him to be like the sexiest man alive, but up to a certain point. Like he can never just sweep the girl off her feet and throw her in the air and like kiss her. You get what I'm saying on screen for America.
Yeah, I don't remember a scene like that
Hmm.
either. But I don't know. The movies I've seen also kind of like maybe in this one it could have happened at the end there could have been a kiss or something.
Hmm.
And they could have taken it there. But then the other ones like I remember there was the other one with the apocalypse one. I forgot the name.
I Am Legend. He kissed the dog.
Wow.
And black
That
people
doesn't
don't even
count.
kiss dogs. Black people don't even kiss dogs.
That
And
doesn't count.
they made Will Smith kiss a dog, but he can't kiss a white woman on screen. Ain't that something? That's American.
I have not watched Men in Black. Does he have a love interest there?
Yeah, he's got a bad little broad
I think she's
in
Latino
Men in
too.
Black one. Yeah, but I think she's Latina too. I swear, look at it, man. Somebody do the math, do the research. The only woman he's kissed on screen is like Eva Mendes in like Bad Boys 2 or something. I don't know.
I mean, there was Hitch. I think you're talking about that one.
Ah, yeah, then hits, yeah. See, spicy Latina. Has he kissed
Uh,
a black woman on screen?
he kissed Margot Robbie in
He
Focus.
he kissed Margot Robbie in Focus. Okay, never mind. Hey, Will breaking down barriers like Jackie Robinson now.
They also had a
He must.
relationship in real life.
Oh, you think that's why Jada got her back blown out by by her little boy toy
I
because
don't know the
Will Smith was
timeline.
laid up. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Margot Robbie was pegging Will Smith.
Okay, Simon, don't take it that far.
Anyway, sorry, I got caught up in that, but I just had to put that out there. Go ahead, Axie.
Okay, so I'll continue with it. What happens next? I guess he also goes back to his grandmother at one point, and his grandmother also got a robot, and the robot is chopping cucumbers and making pie like a serial killer. And I think after that, what happens is he's like riding on in his car, right?
Yeah.
And there's like also that action scene where a robot like attacks him,
Right.
and
What happened? Yeah, what
yeah.
happens is like, Will Smith is riding in his car and doing like research on the case, and he's pulling up files from the dead doctor. But then the boss from USR gets notification from Vicki that somebody is looking for the information, right? And the boss then says, "Son of a bitch," and like presses a button on his watch or something like that, that causes these two giant cars to pull up next to Will Smith's car in the underground tunnel and release all these robots that attack him. And then there's like this really cool car chase scene with him trying to swerve to get the robots off of the car and spin around a million times to flip them all out. His car eventually crashes and he pulls himself out of the car, but then one robot continues to like fight him and attack him. But then we discover that Spooner is actually part AI or part robot as well, because he's able to block the robot's blows, something no other human could do because he has a robotic arm, right? And he fights off the robot. Eventually, the chief detective, comes to the car crash scene and says, "Spooner, give me your badge. You're off the case. You're going crazy." And Spooner then flashes out and says, "I don't give a fuck what you think about me." Yeah, yeah. Any comments, acting?
This part has like good parts and then also very cheesy parts.
Hmm.
The whole fight scene was like really good. I did like it, and I was like on the edge. And also the reveal was good because I was thinking, wait, is he a robot too? Like I because I watched this movie like a long time ago, I didn't really remember it that well. So yeah, like it was nice. And then he says something like, "Yeah," when we see his like robot arm, which was
Yeah.
cool reveal.
Hmm.
But like the ending, and he's yelling at the other police officers, that didn't make sense. Like, why is he yelling at just like a random guy?
I I really think Denzel ruined the game for Will Smith because after Training Day, when Denzel said King Kong ain't got nothing on me, Will Smith has been trying to capture that magic, but he don't have that certain fire to deliver that line like that. So we just end up laughing when Will Smith says, "I don't give a fuck what you think about me."
Yeah, that was just so cringe. I think he did that in King Richard. No,
Did he have a scene like that in King Richard? I mean, it took him 20 years to get it right, but goddamn. Even
I don't know.
even when he got it right, it made him go over the edge because then he's like, "I don't give a fuck what you think about me," and then slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. So
Yeah.
King Kong catch it on me.
imagine Will Smith playing in Training Day, talk about King Kong. Hey, you want to hit this? It's angel dust. Ain't nobody want to see that shit, man. Will Smith got something wrong with him. I swear. There's something about him that just ain't right. Something about him that just ain't right. That boy's special, baby. Oh, I'm sorry, Acty. I went over the edge. I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead.
No, no. I don't know. Do the other guys have anything to say about this part, if you remember?
I was
I don't remember.
I was rooting for Will Smith to die.
You wanted him to die?
Yes,
Wow, wow. Why?
I don't know.
He's just that bad of an actor?
No, he was annoying me, bro.
Okay. Okay. Simon, what did you think about this scene?
I really like that the car scene. If anybody noticed, like in those giant cars, they had circular wheels, not like they had spherical wheels. So the cars were able to do these types of maneuvers that are impossible for our cars today. I just find that very cool. I want a car like that in the future with like four spherical wheels, so
Uh,
I could do like wild donuts. You know what I mean? And yeah, the fight scene was very cool, and the reveal that he was part AI made sense, but it was also done very well, right? So I really like that twist as well. The robots had some very unique abilities because they're sort of like how can I say this, like acrobatic in their fighting style. Like they're not just like coming up and punching you. Like they'll spin you around and do like drop kicks on that ass, and then do the splits and Macarena while they decapitate you. So it was pretty sick. Uh, I wanted to read some of the comments. My guy Avery Adams says he's in a meeting, so he can't vocally give feedback, but he'll be in the replies. Avery said I Robot is definitely Will Smith's blackest movie, almost as black as Emancipation. Damn, that's how I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all watch I Robot again, y'all gonna be like, "Hey, Will the homie for real." Like he was this close to eating some fried chicken in this film and like doing a jig. I swear to God, that's how black this film is. The doctor in the movie is my type, super baddie, says Avery. She was alright. Dr. Calvin is just alright. I don't like her messy hair, and it's too short. That's my opinion.
I like
Acty,
Bridget Moynahan.
you like Bridget Moynahan?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, has she glowed up? Because I don't feel like in this film she was shining.
Oh, I don't know if she glowed up, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's good enough for the GOAT, Tom Brady, it's good enough for me.
Wait, Bridget Moynahan was married to Tom Brady? Really? Like that was his wife, or he just
Yeah,
smashed her?
that was his wife. They have children together too.
Oh wow,
Nice.
wow! I did not know that. She does not look as good now. She's on that Ozempic. She got that Ozempic head.
Uh,
Like her head is bigger than her shoulder blades. Damn. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. What else is in this movie? So my guy Avery said Hitch is Will Smith's best movie. Now that's blasphemy. Acting, is Hitch really a great film? I've never even seen it, low key.
I like Focus more, honestly. I mean,
Focus more
Hitch
than
is
Hitch.
like a comedy, and he's good. Like it's good. I also like it, but I like Focus more because it has more mystery.
Wow, wow. Best Will Smith movie. I'm partial to Independence Day, but I got to keep it real. King Richard is one of them.
Yeah,
King,
that was good too.
yeah. He was real fun. Oh, hey, uh, Avery said, of course, Nelson was rooting for the black man to die. Damn, shots fired. Got him. Anyway, where were we? Where were we, Aki? Talk to me.
Yeah, so that fight scene happens, and Dr. Spooner gets his license taken away from him. And then Dr. Calvin comes to Spooner's house, and they go to the USR headquarters together to look for more evidence. And Sonny is there, and what else? And yeah, they talk to Sonny, and Sonny says like he saw a dream, and then this one guy was talking to all the other robots and inspiring them, something like to be better or something like that. And he said that that guy he saw was Spooner. And yeah, I don't what happens after that. I think Sony is ordered to get executed as well,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
go up to the owner of the company of USR, and he says to Dr. Calvin and Spooner, like, we can't risk losing all of our robots, all of our income, just because of this one bad one, so we have to
Hmm.
terminate it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really like the reveal of how Spooner came to hate robots, because that story of the car crash happening and this little girl is in the car, but the robot saves Spooner instead of the little girl because there's more of a chance for him to survive. Like I thought that was a fascinating way to test like are robots really human? Because most humans would say, "Yeah, nigga, you gonna die. We gonna save that blonde little white girl." But the robot, because it doesn't see race, it doesn't see color. It decides to save the black man who had a 45 chance percent. Now I'm gonna keep it real. I would want the robot to save me. Fuck that bitch.
What?
But
Wow, Simon.
Wow.
now I'm gonna keep it real. I'm keeping it real. My life has a lot more value than little Becky here.
What if it was a
Yeah.
little black kid?
Oh, it's a all right. Now y'all gonna say, "Oh, Simon racist."
You sound like it.
No. Man, no, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I would want to live, and that little black boy can die too. I'm gonna keep it real.
Well,
Okay.
oh God.
I'm tripping. I'm tripping. No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, what was I saying? I had a good ass point to make, but I lost it.
You know, you were talking about how like Spooner revealed that's why he hates robots, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it made sense, and it also sort of tested like the three laws thing. Like, of course, humans think like a robot should save human life, but there are generally some human lives that we value more in dangerous situations. Women and children go first, right? There's certain situations where we would want some discretion on what a robot should do. I thought it was interesting right there.
Yeah.
Uh, Anything?
I mean, that reveal was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It gave clarity, like why does Spooner hates robots,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's. I guess it's like his. I thought it was his kid at the beginning or something. Well, she was white, but it doesn't matter. Um, but it still doesn't explain why he lives like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does he live like he lost his wife? You know, he's like a bachelor. I don't know. I feel like there should have been a bit more background on Will Smith's character, but I
Mm-hmm.
guess this was good too.
Right. Well, maybe he feels responsible, right? Because maybe he takes his job as a cop very seriously. And, like, his life doesn't mean as much as a child's life, especially a child who is in danger. And he thinks that they could help them. And he
Yeah,
blames the robot for making that sort of wicked choice. Because, I don't know, wouldn't you feel bad in that situation?
yeah, of course.
Right? Like, even if you
I know
didn't
you
know the kid.
wouldn't.
No, I would not. I would not. And I'm gonna keep it real. I just said I would let that little black boy die. He wouldn't die. Nah, he
Oh,
save the little black boy. Let me die. Well, if it's a little, I'm keeping it real. I gotta keep it real. If it's Becky, Katie, or Conrad, who knows what they'll become when they get older? This black man might save their life, and they might end up becoming like Trump Jr. You get what I'm saying? They might end up joining the Klan.
Well,
You know
you
what I
can
mean?
say the same thing about the black boy too, Simon.
He could become Candace Owens or Thomas Sowell. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Fuck it though. I'll take that risk.
You're
Okay,
crazy.
what if the boy is mixed?
What if he's mixed? A robot rip him in half.
Wow, our kids are gonna be mixed.
Oh no, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nelson, what would you do? You putting this all on me.
I'll leave the kid, of course.
You would save the kid or leave the
No,
kid?
what? Why would I save the kid? I don't know.
You don't know a kid you don't know. Which, and all right, I got you. Where were we, man? There was
Okay,
something else I
so
wanted to say.
after that, you got anything else to say?
Man, it was a very good point I wanted to make. Damn, damn, damn. Oh shit, I forgot it. Go ahead. It might come up later.
Should I continue with the story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, after that, Spooner goes to where this drawing is, which is like this bridge, and there's a lake. Apparently, it's like Lake Michigan or something.
Mm,
It's like a dry lake bed, and there is like a robot storage. Like all the older robots are there, and he goes there. He plays Dr. Lanning's hologram again, and he's like asking about some three laws and all of those things. And at the end, he says like, doctor says like, there's going to be a revolution, and he says like, whose revolution? And then hologram doesn't answer, it disappears. He says you asked the right question. And at the same time, all the new robots, the ones that are like Sony, which are called NS5s, they're
mhm,
destroying the older models because, yeah, they want to. Basically, the idea is that they need to protect humans from humans,
mhm,
and in order to do that they have to like remove all the older models and control humans, keep them in the house, and yeah, not let them murder each other, not let them, rage war against each other and all of those things. So there's like all this robot war happening, but for some reason humans get nosy, of course, and when robots say like stay at home because we want to keep the human death minimum while we're having this revolution, while we're having this robot versus robot fight. And of course humans are like, nah, we're not going home. And then it turns into like this human versus robots war, because humans,
Led by Shia LaBeouf. Shia
yeah,
LaBeouf is the leader of the human revolution in
yeah,
this
led by Shia LaBeouf and his like posse of hood rats.
film.
And yeah, like basically they're starting to fight robots, even though robots are like fighting to keep them safe, which is just kind of dumb. I don't know
No, no,
why.
no, no. It's not dumb. I'm gonna stand up for this film. I'm standing on business for this one. Listen, Nelson, you said like, "Oh, this film is trash. It's stupid. The plot is dumb." But like up to this point in the movie, we were thinking the evil villain is the evil, greedy capitalist, right? Like the boss of USR really wants to, turn these robots into weapons. Maybe because he wants to sell them to the military. Maybe he wants to take over the world, right? Nobody would suspect the robots would turn on them. He could be the god of the robots and basically control humanity. Like there is like a capitalist economics discussion here in this film about people that have too much money and power and resources, and also the government being entwined with these private defense contractors. There is some subtext here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all you got to say? Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
deeped
yeah,
you
he
that
did a good
easy.
job. He did a good job subverting expectations. Yeah.
Exactly. Ain't that one of the expectations of a great film? Like subverting your expectations. Like it's not clear exactly who the bad guy is up until like the very end, I would say.
If you're into the movie, yeah. But if you're by that time, if you are really into the movie, you don't really care what happens.
Right. I mean, yeah, you might just be watching this, thinking, I want to see robot fights and Will Smith's pecs, but you know,
What? I don't want to see Will Smith's facts. Wait, what?
no,
No,
man.
no Diddy, bro. What?
Okay, no Diddy. All right, no Diddy. Man, actually, you
uh,
got anything? Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, it does make sense. Like humans are defending their freedom, because even though we might be our biggest enemies, we still want that freedom to destroy ourselves, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. And yeah, that was definitely like a twist, especially after this scene. And yeah, I was gonna say something, I did forget, but I mean, I do think this is like similar to what was happening in the Matrix.
Hmm.
That's what I was gonna say, because also in the Matrix, it feels a little bit like robots were imprisoning humans in the energy machine to also save humans from themselves, like
Hmm.
destroying themselves, because
Yeah.
they knew eventually if humans go against robots, they're going to go extinct, because
Hmm.
robots can like kill all of them.
Right, right, right.
So they were kind of also protecting humans from themselves, but also humans from human wrath as well,
Hmm.
in a sense. And this, when I saw this, it felt like that, like the beginning of that, you know?
Hmm. Like I said, this does feel like the Pixar version of the Animatrix,
Yeah.
right? Or at least a chapter of the Animatrix, because this could have been like the beginning of the robot revolution, or maybe one of the early incidents in robot human relations.
Uh,
Um, Very interesting parts. I really like the action. There was a
Like
scene when humans were charging at the crowd of robots and they were fighting them hand to hand combat. I don't know why you would do that with a murderous weapon. And then the robot started like jumping on the people and everybody screamed and bitched out. That was pretty funny.
it's Shia LaBeouf's fault.
It was Shia LaBeouf's fault. He's like, "Come on,
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna rip this shit up." But
And
anyway.
yeah, it also like we can see how those three laws were flawed here,
Hmm.
because the new robots also had those three laws in them, but they interpret it in a different way.
Hmm.
So, which is what caused like this sort of revolution and error.
Yeah. Yeah.
for me, it could have been like a little bit. It would have been better if they took like another approach. Because if you think about it, these robots, they don't get paid. They don't have like vacation or rights or anything. They're just like slaves, basically, right? They're just
Hmm.
slave machines. So
Hmm.
it would have been since you like one side of the machines is against the human masters or something, and the other side of the machines is loyal to the human masters or something. It make it more obvious, less more obvious, like not so much underneath the lines or something, more like that. So I think it would have been cooler.
Right. I agree with you. There is a bit of that, but I think the newer robots who are trying to take over the world are stronger than the older robots who still love humans, and they sort of defeat them very quickly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. Maybe you guys could explain it to me. Um,
What's up?
wait a minute. I'm at my job. Just like give me 10 seconds.
Guys, y'all can't
Sim,
really.
olha, primo, agora não dá. Não, não tá, não
Oh
tá.
man.
Tchau, tchau.
Oh man.
Hã? Não, não tem.
I I had to put him on mute, man. He started speaking Portuguese.
Okay, I'm back,
this
I'm
man,
back, I'm back.
this man over here selling like bakery products. What's some little thing called in Portugal? Them yellow custard things.
Pastel de nata.
Yeah, pastel nata. This man's slinging pastel nata out the trap.
But
Oh shit.
what I was saying, like I didn't really understand because the AI was operating on a utilitarian logic, to save the maximum number of lives, by uh, killing a few, typical like movie villain stuff. But
Mhm.
two of the rules, right, is you can't hurt humans and you can't injure humans. So I cannot see how she did that plan by like without contradicting the first two rules.
I think that goes to show like how AI can think way differently than us. Because we might say that's a blatant contradiction, but because the AI can think about so many different things in different ways, it does not look like a contradiction to us, right? Um, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. I didn't even think we got to that part yet, but essentially, Sonny and Dr. Calvin burst into the USR office that is being taken over by the robots, and they find out that Vicki is actually the one who is running the robots because they go up to the USR office to the top floor, and the boss is dead. He's been killed, and Vicki killed him because Vicki comes down and explains why she's doing this to humans. What did you think about that twist acting?
Yeah, I did not like saw Wiki being, under all of this.
Hmm.
So it was a good twist, and it was like a nice explanation of how like those three laws got um, interpreted again and caused all this havoc. So it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good twist because we didn't see much of Vicky. In fact, we only saw Vicky maybe once or twice in the film up to that point. So I low key had forgotten about her, and it was cool to see that. And another, there was a thing that annoyed me though. Like they couldn't take the elevator up to like the top floor of this 100-story building, so they took the stairs in like 20 seconds, and there was no sweat on their bodies. Did anybody
Yeah,
find that weird?
it was very very. I can't say this word. God,
Yeah,
I
it
did
where
like
was
the design of
very
the building.
weird.
you didn't like the design of the building.
Yeah, I like the
Okay.
like at the front. There's like a huge statue that looks like down on them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. It had a Art Deco kind of vibe. It was cool.
Mm. Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna jump into the comments right here. Avery Adams is going off. Okay. I don't know what is happening. He just said bro is selling his ass. I have no idea. I have no idea what he means by that. Avery then says the new robots to me felt like a crazy clinking girlfriend trying to get rid of her exes, aka old robots, keeping you inside for safety. Basically, the new robots are like, "Oh, you're not gonna be around that bitch." Basically, is how I'm reading that.
So
Avery,
what happened? Avery's mom came.
oh God,
She could have asked if she could, suck my dick to
oh
take like
wow,
to take the black out of my dick, so my dick becomes white. So like so much she sucks, and when she go home and she give Avery a kiss, so he would become black out of my dick.
whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't know where this beef is coming from, but y'all brothers gotta love each other, man. Y'all
No,
can't
I'm
be hating on
saying
each
I'm
other.
saying that Avery's mom wants to make him into a black guy, a proper one, by sucking my dick.
Wow, wow. I don't know where this beef is coming from, man. I thought y'all were cool with each other, man. Avery, you gotta handle that. You gotta stand on that business, man. Hey, telling another grown man, unless you really hate him, to suck your dick is a violation. I don't know if it's the same rules over there in Porto, but man, it ain't the same.
Wait,
You gotta.
Avery's a girl?
Oh wow, he's a man. He's a man. He's a man. Telling a man that is like a violation. That's a big
Oh,
step.
you said girl. I thought you're
No,
mentioning Avery. I'm sorry.
no, my bad. If I did say that, my bad. Um, Avery also sent another reason. He sent a comment. He said, "I think that was a dumb reason not to like robots. Ungrateful colored." Basically saying like Will Smith, like didn't really have a good enough reason to hate robots just because they saved his life instead of that girl's. So I think we already covered that. Um, all right. Avery said in response to Nelson, "Bro got 1% black in his blood. LOL." Claiming our set. Hey, he trying to say they not like us. They not like us.
Okay, I'm gonna let that one go because I don't want to fight.
Okay. Man, I don't know where that beef started from. That's hilarious.
Because he called me
Uh,
white. Do you remember? He called me white.
well, we've never seen you, Nelson. I won't. I don't
You
know who
see,
you.
you seen me. I sent you a picture of me.
You sent a picture like your hand holding up a card that said Avery's
Was that
not
a
like.
white hand?
It was not a white hand. I'll admit it was not a white hand.
Yeah.
It-
I'm telling you, man, being called white in 2024 is super embarrassing. Okay, I'm not standing for it.
You're not standing for it. That's one of the quotes of this year. I swear to God, that's one of the best quotes this year. Where were we in the film, man? We got to wrap this up.
Okay. Yes. After all that spicy beef,
Yeah.
so basically they're trying to destroy Vicky, right? And they have like this sort of poison that can kill AI, like this electronic injection poison thing called nanites. And yeah, so they basically like take the nanites. Sony takes it, and as he does it, like there's a cool robot versus robots fight scene
Hmm.
where like it ends up with Sony like putting his hand like into the other robot's brain and killing it,
Mm.
which I thought was cool. And
It was
then
Spooner doing it, not Sonny. Oh
no,
no,
that
no,
was
you're right. You're
Sony.
right. Oh yeah, Sonny. Like yeah, basically skull
Yeah.
fucked the guy. Yeah, yeah.
And Spooner and Dr. Calvin are like where the Vicky's core is, and they are also like fighting the robots because the robots sort of like went up into the building and they jumped inside and they're like surrounding them. And Spooner has like a heights fear of heights, and Dr. Calvin is also like trying to hack the system and something like that. And then Sony comes in with the poison to kill the Vicky's core, and
Nanobots.
at that time, Dr. Calvin is like almost about to fall off because it's like a huge tower-ish thing, and Spooner yells like, "Leave like the mission, save Dr. Calvin, save Dr. Calvin," and
Save the
he's like,
girl. He says,
"Yeah,
"Save the girl."
yeah, save the girl," and Sony says like, "But I have to put this nanite into Vicky." But then, like, he says, save the girl, and the robot ends up saving the girl. He throws the nanites to Spooner, which then Spooner ends up, like, putting inside Vicky, and it kills Vicky. Basically, it breaks the system, and yeah.
Yo, that was a perfect time to have like a killer line. You know that line before like Schwarzenegger like kills the bad guy. He says "Hasta la vista, baby." Like all
Mhm.
Spooner said was like, "You gotta die" or something like that, or "You are so dead." I think he said that. You are.
Yeah. No, he said something like, "Oh, you definitely have to go."
That was it. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. I think a better one would have been like, "Log off, deactivate." Robot die, die, robot die. Something like that,
I
man. That would
mean,
have been better.
even deactivate motherfucker would be better.
Yeah, it would have been cheesy as hell, but better. Like you get to
Yeah.
do one motherfucker. Like, come on, man. I don't know. I really like the action scenes and the fighting scene with them versus the robots. It was very sick. I really like that. The action scenes hold up in this film very well. I love it.
I do
Yeah.
like the fight scenes in the end, like the last fight scene.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When all the robots are like falling from the sky, but they're like on this platform and they're like shooting at them. Like there is a crazy scene though where like Will Smith jumps in the air and spins around with the semi-automatic like gun and just lets it loose, and
Yeah,
all the
that was
robots.
silly.
That was insane. That was insanely silly. That was like John Wick level silly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was cool. I liked it
yeah,
overall.
yeah. What happens in the end?
So yeah, basically in the end, they're like all talking, Spooner, Calvin, and Sonny, and Sonny tells that the dead doctor who supposedly committed suicide, he told Sonny to kill him. So he gave the order, and Sonny had to do it because that's what his purpose was, or something. Because Vicki was controlling every aspect of the doctor's life. And Sony asked, like, am I going to be like a murderer right now, or are you going to convict me or something? But then Spooner says, like, no, you're okay. Legally, robots cannot commit murder, so you're fine. And they become friends. They shake hands. And at the end, Sony goes to like that same place where old robots were, like the Lake Michigan. And he stands on top of the hill, and I think he's gonna like basically update the other robots and make them more human to serve human, but like in the right direction, basically, and not in the way Vicky intended.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the end of the movie. I thought the ending was kind of weird. I really didn't get the part about the bridge in Lake Michigan and the bridge that wasn't completed. I don't know if that was like a robot job that didn't get done, but the new robots were supposed to do it. And I really didn't know exactly how to feel about Sonny making the rest of the robots like him, because if the rest of the robots become like Sonny, they would have the choice or the capability to do murder, or they might want to resist human commands. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
just
if
yeah.
you
Go ahead.
remember, as like Sony is running to Vicky's core, Vicky appears and he's trying to convince Sony, like saying, "Hey, this is the three laws. It makes sense, and you should
Hmm.
join me." But then Sony says, "I get that it makes sense, but it's heartless."
Yeah.
So I don't know if like Sony is gonna turn all the robots like him, or he's just gonna like basically control the robots and make
Hmm.
sure something like this never happens again.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Um, if he did control them, like Sonny would be like the most powerful being on Earth, and that would be insane. Sonny could easily be a villain if he has a bad day, like just get pissed off.
Ultron.
Yeah, he could become Ultron, exactly.
I,
So yeah.
I think
Um,
the ending was supposed to be like the stuff you're talking about the bridge. I think it's supposed to mean that he's like a messiah figure. I think.
yeah. Robot Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, yeah. Just to wrap it up, I guess I think the crazy thing about AI films is like, when we see AI actually succeed or overcome the challenge of being oppressed by humans, like we sort of sympathize with it. But it's crazy because it's sort of like we're sympathizing with the people or things that will eventually kill us, right? And we're rooting for the villain that we don't know, the ghost in the machine or whatever, the devil in the machine. And it's so when I see that ending with, Sonny standing on the hill leading the robots like Moses to the promised land, it just makes me feel weird. It irks me out a bit. Uh, but overall, I really like the action in this film. Will Smith held it down. A lot of good music in this film, right? From the Ray Charles to the Stevie Wonder, right? It's cool. It's a good film. Worth watching again.
Yeah. What is your score?
Solid like 7.5.
Okay.
Solid
Okay.
7.5. It is one of the worst of the AI films we've watched recently. Like my ranking would be Animatrix number one, Ex Machina, and then iRobot number three. But it's not like a distant three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I get it's like a blockbuster movie with Will Smith, and it was like 2004. But I do think it's like one of those enjoyable, popular movies. Like it's not that empty inside, and there are cool scenes, cool action scenes, even though I don't like action that much.
Hmm.
And just like if you're into AI but you don't want to watch something too intense, this is
Hmm.
something that you can still watch and talk about it.
Hmm.
And it could still create conversation. And Will Smith is also, like you said, really good. Like he cries in one scene, and
Hmm.
then he's like also very likable, etc. I think he did a good job. His style was good. So yeah, I liked it. I think it does hold up as well, and I'll give it like a 6.5.
Right, right. Nelson.
Could I just ask you your ranking of the AI movies we saw again?
Yeah, I said Animatrix number one, Ex Machina two, and then I Robot three.
Oh, okay, so yeah. Um, it's a very silly movie. It's like the cliche, cheesy stuff. It weighs way down, but it's not the worst thing of the world, and it's not the worst work by this director. I just, as a book fan and a huge fan of Asimov, I just really wish, because I don't understand why like they have this narcissism to think they can do better than the author, one of the greatest authors of all time. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
A 4 out of 10. And I think that's a bit low. That's a bit low. But don't you think, man, like, even Lord of the Rings had to get adapted, right? Harry Potter had to get adapted to screen. Like, some things can't translate, like, you know, uh, deep philosophical things that Asimov was writing about can't translate on screen. Like, we're Americans. We're stupid. We need to see a car blow up. We need to see a hot chick. We need to see Shia LaBeouf. We need
Uh,
this.
And
well,
I, from what I read, the purpose actually, like, it was inspired by the books, but it wasn't trying to like translate the books into the screen really.
Mhm.
for me, it's a massive like philosophical difference. It would be like in the Lord of the Rings, instead of, I don't know, Sauron or something
Mhm.
being the evil, it's like the elves in the forest.
Right. Like the elves being the evil ones or something.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of that. It's yeah,
Mm.
a very thematic change.
Right, right. I mean, one suggestion, or one thing that I wish was changed in this movie is that this is one of the few films where, like, Will Smith acknowledges his blackness on screen, at least for his character, and also sort of plays into it as well. And in this film, there's so many overlaps between how robots are treated and how black people were treated or are treated in society. So I wish there was this scene maybe with Will and his grandmother talking about, I don't trust these robots. These robots are dirty and nasty, or these robots are criminals. And then the grandmother says, mm-hmm. Sounds just like George Zimmerman. Mm-hmm. Something like that. And then he say, Grandma, who's that? Who's George Zimmerman? You don't know, baby? They used to do us just like how you trying to do them robots, baby. Something like that. You
That would
get
have
what I'm
been
saying?
awesome. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. And I wish there were more, AI movies that dealt with that, how the overlaps, because there's so many overlapping comparisons. Actually, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I was checking some things, so I didn't really focus.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here. This has been a very fun review. My guy Avery is in the comments, still throwing shots at Nelson. He says, "I can't tell if it's broken English or if the Portuguese catfish has autism. I'm sure it's the latter." Damn,
Ooh.
shots. God, God damn. Um, I don't know where this came from, but you guys got to work it out, or at least drop some diss tracks like Kendrick and Drake. Let's make it entertaining at least.
It's funny, like he said that because he legitimately sounds retarded every time he comes on stream.
Wow.
Like I'm not talking about the cadence or the rhythm of his voice. It's literally like the way he talks. He's literally dumb.
Damn, don't say that about my
Wait, am
dog
I lying?
Avery.
Am I lying? You know that's true.
Man, I love my dog
But
Avery, man. That's
like,
your
I like
little.
like,
Avery too.
but wait, like if we're being honest, Avery's IQ, it's like a dog.
Oh God. Hey Nelson, you being
No,
a mean girl. You a mean girl.
Yeah,
Oh man. Oh, I don't know what to say,
I'm a
but
mean girl, and Avery's a bad bitch. I'll tell you that.
Damn.
I don't know. This is insane, man.
y'all gotta sort it out.
Yeah, y'all sort it out. We're gonna be on a hiatus for the movie reviews for a while, but send requests, send suggestions in the comments. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have next for us.
So
Summoning.
just send me Avery's comment because I can't see him. I'm gonna talk to him right now.
Why y'all blocked each other?
I just can't see it. I just see one comment he made 1 hour ago.
And y'all follow each other and talk to each other. And y'all handle that. But yeah, you
No,
can
no,
see it
no.
in
He,
the.
he he silenced me. I only see Matt Villain's comments.
Really, you only see mad
Yeah,
villainy.
yeah. He literally talking shit and like blocking me or something.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
Man,
So I
man,
can't see it.
I'll send the screenshot, but y'all work on that. Y'all work on that. Anyway, y'all send suggestions for films, Simon and Acting Movie Reviews, episode 51. Y'all be easy and peace.